Hello, everyone. This is another episode of the Beaven and Wright podcast. My name is Andrew,
My name's Scott.
and we are back with another episode. So,
Episode
thank you very
2.
much. Yeah, episode 2. Thank you very much for all of the support on our first one. It did really well on views. Just make sure if you tune into the podcast, you hit that like button and also subscribe if you want to catch more episodes of the Beaven and Wright. And turn on the notification bell, because then you'll get told when we upload. Quite literally. So, last episode we spoke about Chelsea and we delved a little bit into Chelsea. Whereas now we're going to be talking about also a bit more about Chelsea, and then we're going to get on to the topic we didn't discuss, which is England at the Euros so far. Now, we probably would have had a slightly different tune had we spoken about it last week. And now we're going to have a very pessimistic, typical England fan tune on the whole thing. So,
No, we're not. We're gonna be
I
positive.
am.
Oh no, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be positive.
It's the hope that kills you. So, Scott,
Yes. Sir.
let's start on with Chelsea. And the first, I guess, the biggest story that's come out of Chelsea this week is that Chelsea have agreed a fee with Aston Villa to sell Ian Maatsen to them for around £37.5 million, which is more than the release clause that we had on him. I think that's because they're breaking the payments up due to PSR, so they've offered us a bit more to sweeten it.
Yep,
basically.
I'm happy with that. He has not really played for us. To be fair, he looked good this season. He did all right.
Did very good. He was got in the Champions League team this season.
He done well. He's not played for us. I don't really feel like. I feel like we're just getting 30 odd million for free, right?
I disagree.
Okay.
I think that this is a huge mistake. I think this is up there with Gallagher and Chalobah, and also we're going to be looking back on this like a De Bruyne. Maybe not in the same pedigree, but like we'll be looking back on this when we are signing our 15th left back in 3 windows' time, going, wow, we probably really should have kept Ian Maatsen. That would have been a pretty great idea.
I think he's just one of those players. He's been out on loan so much. How many times has he played for us? Not that many.
Like a handful of times.
Yeah. Getting rid of Gallagher, I would be upset about because he's in our team. He's been one of our best players.
Same with Chalobah.
Same with Chalobah. Same with Big Trev. We love Big Trev.
We love Big Trev.
We love Big Trev. So I would be upset if we sold those players. They feel like Chelsea players. Ian Maatsen doesn't feel like a Chelsea player.
No.
I've seen him in other kits more than I've seen him in our kit.
But I've also seen enough wasted talent leave our club and then go on to become great players.
That is true.
And I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah, but we have so many talents that come through our academy
But at
and
left-
always have done.
But we're linked with left backs, and we have a ready-made left back at home who's literally ready to play the Premier League and be great.
That's not how the ownership works, mate.
No, I know, but I can vent. I can
sell
vent.
brilliant left backs and then buy awful ones.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Well,
That's what we're gonna do.
Maybe we'll get on to some Chelsea players at the Euros in a bit, because there's been a couple of good standouts and a couple of omissions that I think should be playing that aren't playing. Sorry, sorry. Okay, but yeah, Maatsen, he's gone. All right, Chelsea very keen to sell and obviously hit profit regulations, which is very disappointing. It seems that Chelsea are very still keen on John Duran, who we spoke about last week.
Yes.
Again, apparently the Maatsen deal will involve Aston Villa will have a knock-on effect on the other deal we do with them, which will be for another player, which will be with John Duran or an academy player from Aston Villa to join our academy.
That I'd be more into. Yeah, I'd be more into that.
Yeah, I mean, 37.5 million for Ian Maatsen, I don't think is actually that bad a deal.
It's a lot of money.
Considering.
Yeah, I like it.
But I do think that we're linked with we have this is not a very strong link, so I don't want to talk about over it too much. But we're linked with Hernandez, the left back from AC Milan, Theo Hernandez.
Oh, I like him.
He's good.
Are we linked with him?
We are not. It's not a strong. It wasn't a strong source, so I don't want to sit here and have gospel on it.
I've not heard it.
It's literally today. Came out today, so it wouldn't be too much. We're recording this the 21st, just so everyone's aware. Then another big story from the week, which was Amora Dion. Who from Atletico Madrid. Seems like the strikers we're going after are very raw, very powerful, big strikers, but without any finesse of like a finished article.
Yeah.
Very much like Nicholas Jackson, but it seems like we're going for a different profile in terms of we want someone who's a bit bigger, a bit more physical.
Yes.
And that seems to be the profile of the players we're going for.
Again, I like the thought process behind, let's see if we can find a Drogba-esque replacement player. Big, strong, physical, fast. I'm not sure that player is going to be 21 years old
Yet.
at the moment. It should be, in my opinion, someone who's ready and already doing that. I don't want to wait 5 years for someone to get good. We have people that we can wait for.
Yeah, I think if we're putting the deal in isolation, Amora Dion is very highly rated in Spain, very highly rated by Atletico Madrid, because we have actually had I think 2 or 3 bids actually rejected from them.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid are very keen to not let him go. I think they see him part as the first team next season, so that shows some pedigree for what they think he could be. But we're talking about a striker who only scored 9 goals. Duran scored 5.
I'm struggling with it. I really
Like,
am. I'm
just,
struggling with our transfer policy. Generally,
this is meant to be the last window of our 3-year plan or whatever it was under this ownership, right? Of big window anyway.
Yeah.
And we still don't have a great striker, and we're not being linked with great strikers. And I know there's not many out there. There genuinely isn't. So maybe you do have to take a bit of a risk, regardless. Sesko is a bit of a risk because he's only had 1 season in the Bundesliga and only really got good towards the back end of the season, but there's enough quality in there in a few seasons of professional football to go, yeah, that's the guy. So that's an educated risk because loads of other clubs want them, whereas Duran and Amoraidion, not many other clubs want them, and you're like, well...
I mean, we have spoke about it off camera before about actually the lack of just quality strikers out there. And
there isn't many.
I think the general lack of quality players
We've
playing
spoken
at the
about this
moment.
last time, in the last podcast.
Well, I'll go back to when I was a bit younger, mid-2000s.
Every club had an amazing striker.
You could throw your hat at a football team and hit 3 world-class players, at least.
In that top class,
in that top bracket, that you would go, I'd have him in my team.
I think maybe the difference is, though, the gap has gotten smaller, as in, so what players might have stood out 10 years ago, now, because the quality gap is a lot different, as in, I think there's the actual base level of a Premier League footballer is now really good. Generally, you have to be a good footballer to play in the Premier League, no matter what team you play for. But then, to be the top team, you have to be super good. But because the gap's closed, it makes the really good not as good.
I think the physicality is starting to take over. I think everyone now is so fit, so physical, especially in the Premier League.
Yeah, there is no room for a Mesut Ozil in this Premier League. No. Or a Fabregas even.
No,
really.
No. I'm surprised that Phil Foden plays, if I'm completely honest. He's the type of player that I love to pieces. Yeah. But again, he's not the biggest. He's not the quickest. He's not the most physical.
I think with football is you have to be extremely technical, to the point where you don't need to be that strong because you can hold the ball so well technically that you don't need it.
Yeah, he does.
Or you need to be a physical machine who can power through people, be powerful, strong.
I think there's so much of that now.
That is what football really is. That's why I think you go to appreciate Phil Foden, who, by the way, 10 years ago, Phil Foden would not be spoken about the same way. No. He's been terrible at the Euros as well, by the way. But
I've seen glimpses. I just like the way he moves.
I haven't.
On the ball.
I like him.
I
think he's a good player, but I think there's so many other players who play his position better than him that I don't think he can be classed as his generational talent. That's a big opinion, and that's going to cause some controversy.
I like him, by the way. Don't hate on me. I like him.
Hate on me. That's fine. I can take it. And the last striker we'll talk about that we've been linked with is literally today is a guy called Maximilian. I think it's Maximilian Bayer played in the German league. 16 goals last season in 32 games.
That's all right.
So a good return.
I'm okay with that.
I know we've been tentative links of Guirassy as well, who was the second top goal scorer in the Bundesliga last season as well.
Why Bundesliga?
I think both those strikers are huge, tall, big physical presences in the box, and I think that
profile.
I think in the Bundesliga they have that more than any other league right now. Really, if you think about it. So those are the 2 strikers we're linked with. They're very tentative links, not really much on them, but they might develop if Duran and Amoraidion stall.
We'll talk about it when they develop. Right?
Yeah, but those are some tentative links. And then the last one, which seems to be a pretty big story that you probably wouldn't have heard of. There's an Argentinian centre-back, another youngster, who we're looking at signing.
Shock.
Yeah, I know. Thank God we're finally going for some young players. We've been going way too old. 22, what the hell? Is Anselmino. He's an Argentinian centre-back, plays for... I was going to get the club wrong. I can't remember. Plays in Argentina. Another one of the blue incredibly young,
I don't know,
highly rated players from South America, basically trying to become the next Real Madrid, I think, with how we're scouting.
Again, I'm struggling. We have 6 young centre backs. We don't need any more.
Yeah, I don't see where he really fits in, but
No,
he's rated really highly, so he could be good. But we're
So,
playing a lot
yeah.
of risk on potential, so who knows?
We don't need that. We don't need that.
No, and I think going on from that, I think there's Chelsea. I think right at the moment. Well, I think we'll get into a proper squad review but just before the season starts, we'll get really
It's all
into
speculation at the moment. We want stuff to settle down.
But that is.
I want to have a look at. I want to have a look at people that come in and people that don't.
That wraps up Chelsea.
Sorry.
That wraps up Chelsea.
On to England.
On to England.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Well, this is going to be a
No.
discussion.
Look,
From
we've got 4 points. We're playing arguably the weakest team in our group. We should get through. We will get through. We are through. We should get through as top of the group. I have no qualms about it. Get through your group. Be awful in the group stage. It's okay. Turn up in the last 16. It's going to be a tough game anyway.
Well, let's talk about game 1.
Okay.
Serbia.
Fine. We won the game 1-0. Yeah, we won the game 1-0.
But played really well, probably first 20 minutes.
Yep.
Actually
First
played. That's when we got the goal.
Was good.
We got the goal from that. Capitalised on good pressure. We actually played some decent football.
We did.
And then the entire performance derailed. Everyone was terrible. There's no balance in that team at all. I think Trent and Rice as a pairing is honestly awful together.
So,
I think they just don't complement each other at all.
I have something to say about this.
Oh.
Now, first of all, I'm getting annoyed at people playing people out of position in big... We are not a Sunday League team. This is not a Sunday League, right? It's almost like Gareth has got a bunch of people that he found at the pub the night before. You're a good passer. You play in midfield. No, he's a right back. It's not Sunday League. Don't just put, you run fast. You can go and play left wing. Oh, you're a good passer. You play centre midfield. Oh, we don't have a left back. Someone play left back. Kieran, get over there.
I'll battle the Trent one a bit because I do genuinely think he has the attributes to play in midfield. But
he never does it.
But he does in Liverpool. He inverted fullback into centre mid.
Games, it's like...
No, he played a bit more than that.
I don't know.
I just think that we genuinely need to drop the bigger players. I think for this next game, I want to talk about the game number 2 because I think the first game we won, so everyone's a bit was going to pass any water under the bridge because we won the game.
Yeah,
right.
Agreed.
Second game comes on. I missed the first half. I have not seen the first half. I've seen the goals. I've not seen the first half because I was at work. Did you watch the game? Okay. I can talk about the second half, but if you want to give us some insight on the first half, the people who didn't see it at home.
Again, it was a little slow. It was a little laboured. We scored. We immediately let one in. When we scored, we went then defensive. We were like, we've played well for 15 minutes. We've scored. Let's hold on to what we've got. Denmark actually started to play really well. I'm going to give Denmark credit. I think they played pretty well. We didn't do what we should have done. We were a little laboured, a little slow. I don't know whether the guys are scared to make mistakes. I've seen teams in the past where there's so much pressure on them, they just don't want to make a mistake. Everything is all safe. I'm not going to do the things I do for Man City or Chelsea or whoever. I'm not going to play that ball. I'm not going to make that run. I'm going to play safe. I'm going to keep the ball. I'm going to retain possession. I don't know whether Gareth has put too much pressure. I don't know whether we've put too much pressure on them.
I am going to say I don't think it's the pressure. There is a pressure.
It feels like it.
But there was some genuine... I was watching the second half initially, but yeah, that second half, I watched the whole thing. It just seemed like we made 3, I want to say slightly positive changes because I think they were the wrong changes. Or 4 wrong changes, I think. The players and how we played with those changes was very wrong. Eze is not a direct winger, and you've brought him on at left wing for Phil Foden. The only sub out of the ones that came on that actually played any well was Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, he played really well. He looked sharp.
He looks really good. And I actually would back him to start the next one.
I would.
Over Kane?
Yeah. Well, I'd play them both.
No, you can't.
You
can't play 2 strikers.
I have a theory, and I will explain later.
All right, but I think it's just so... Like, none of the players knew what they were doing. As soon as anyone got on the ball, there was absolutely zero plan. The only thing that I saw that resembled any idea was pass the ball to X player and get it to the winger. And after that, there is nothing. It was hopefully Saka beats that guy.
Does it remind you of any team that we like a little bit?
What, like hit and hope and just
Like
go for
we'll
the
pass it around at the back, we'll knock it to the wingers, and
Lose the
then
ball
in
midfield.
and then it'll come back to the middle again,
and then go back to the goalkeeper.
yeah, and the centre backs will pass it around for a bit.
I just
familiar.
Really familiar actually.
Weird.
Except we had spells where we played well.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the logic of Gareth Southgate. I think there was genuinely a cut off the game where he said, well, after the first goal, we saw that after we scored, we saw how dangerous Denmark were going, so we sat back.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And you can't sit back.
No.
If we are considered to be a top team, by the way, a lot of people are rating us because of the individuals we have in our team
Mate.
to be favourites.
Favourites.
We are not favourites.
Not from what I've seen.
Spain is better than us.
Agreed.
Germany is better than us.
I like Germany, yeah.
France is better than us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when I start to go.
Italy? I think Italy will do all right.
Italy are the same as us.
I'm putting that on record. I think Italy will do well.
Well, they lost against Spain.
They did, but they know how to win games.
And there's France are playing tonight. So we'll see how that goes.
France playing now. No, in a bit.
In a bit. But I just think that the foundations of our team in England is just so sort of wrong. Like, even in that second half, like, we played, I think I heard it on Alan Shearer in commentary. He's like, shove someone forward, put Stones into midfield. We don't need to play 4 defenders now. We want to win the game. And it's just this mindset of like, that'll do when we score a goal. And there's no emphasis on getting any better. And I just that's why I look at managers, obviously, that I can relate to in the past. And I look at Tuchel and Mourinho, and real winners, like real good managers. Like, I remember that quote saying, I can't remember from Mikel, if Chelsea went into a game, I know it's just a bit separate, but if Chelsea went into a game at 2-0 at half time, Mourinho would be belting them, screaming them, because if it wasn't 2-0, if it was only 1. And that's kind of the mentality that this England team should be having with the rest. If we're going in at 1-0, it's not good enough for the team that we have.
It very much does feel like, oh lads, it's 1-0, let's not mess it up.
Yeah.
Like, hold on to that at all costs.
But we should learn from our mistakes.
Yeah,
look at the Italy game in the final, the last
prime example.
Literally, we dominated. We'll go 1-0 up and then sat back and then ended up losing the game.
It would have been better in that game if Italy had scored straight away.
Denmark, I mean.
No, in the final.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, if we scored 3 minutes, if they'd have scored 6 minutes, fine, game on again. The problem, we held on to that lead for so long, we just got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Sorry about that, guys. The camera evaded. We're back with more fantastic podcast action. So where were we? So we were talking about, obviously, about that England second half.
Embarrassment.
It was an embarrassment. I think that. Well, let's talk about the sub. So we brought on, like we said, Watkins was the only good sub. We spoke about that.
Yeah, Watkins played well.
And I just think that. Sorry, I'm going to go on a rant here because I have to.
Oh, go on.
I have to.
Be my guest.
How is Cole Palmer not playing in this team? To have 43 goals and assists. I'm a Chelsea fan, so naturally I'm biased anyway. But to have 43 goals and assists and to still not play in the team, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Like, Saka was nowhere near those numbers. Foden was close enough to those numbers, but nowhere near it. Who else was playing? Bellingham is like a good player, but again, not in the same numbers. Like, I appreciate that Palmer scored 10 penalties last season, but if you actually break it down and thinking about it, like, how is he not playing? How Gareth Southgate can sit there and say, like, he shouldn't be playing in this team is just absolutely ridiculous. We're 1-1, and you don't even bring him off the bench. Off the bench, you brought Eze. I appreciate the different profiles, and you probably want someone a bit more direct who's going to run at players, but what England needed at that moment in time was someone who's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and take it and win it. That's what Cole Palmer's done for Chelsea for the entire season.
I agree. I will come in as a voice of reason, and I will say I can understand why Gareth hasn't started him, because he's a little untested at international level. And we know that he has his favourites that he likes to play. He loves playing Saka. He loves playing Foden. Bellingham is obviously going to be a favourite. So I could never see Gareth putting him in the starting lineup over those guys. I struggle to defend him when he doesn't bring him off the bench, because I do feel like he's just going to add something. When you've got people like Saka and Foden who are not... Let's say they're not 100%. I want to be nice. They're not 100%. They're not firing all cylinders. I just think the season that Palmer's had, I'm going to throw him in. You have to throw him in, right? Gallagher did all right. Energy when he came on.
He was okay.
He was okay, all right. He was okay. But
We played him too deep.
Yeah. I just
don't get it. I just really don't get it. How you can have a player that good and not have him on the pitch. Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
It's like, I'm not comparing in terms of the quality of the player here, but please, it's like having Lionel Messi on your bench and going like, after he's just scored 100 goals and being like, nah, I'm going to play Eric Lamela instead because he scored 20 goals this season or scored like 10 goals this season for Tottenham.
Did you just compare Cole Palmer to Lionel Messi?
I said not in terms of footballing ability, because Messi is the best.
They're gonna kill
Messi
you.
is one of the best players, but Cole Palmer is not at that level. It's close. I'm joking. No, but I am joking, just to clarify. But it's like having, if you have a player that good in terms of numbers, third most in Europe last season, Cole Palmer.
No, I know he had a great
third
season.
most in Europe, so he's top 3 in Europe in terms of goals and assists. You need a goal or an assist, and you don't play him.
I know.
Like, it's nuts. Even there's that like photo of him just sitting on the bench, like looking absolutely miserable.
Yeah, you would though, wouldn't you?
When you know you can make a difference.
He
in that
deserves
game.
a chance. I mean, I like Eze from Palace. I think he's a great player.
But he's not good as good as Cole Palmer.
But he's untried and untested as well. So
Well, so is Bowen.
yeah, Bowen. Oh my god, we got a West Ham fan at work that thinks Jared Bowen is God. But
Alex Allen.
yeah, that's
Alex
the guy.
Allen?
Alex. But
He's not a god for England, mate.
Bowen, I don't think was the answer. I really think that should have been a
To be
Cole Palmer
fair, I can back Bowen a little bit because he played really well when he came on in the first game. Because he obviously beat the player. He got to the byline. We then got a really great chance out of it because he's direct, he's quick. Eze's direct and quick. But we didn't really need direct players at that point. We just needed someone to get us in control of the game.
Yeah.
Like, we have players who can make that right. As soon as you bring on Ollie Watkins, the defence are naturally up in 5 yards anyway because they're going to have to keep up with his pace.
Yeah.
And then the one chance we got, he almost scored from a great pass. And imagine Cole Palmer feeding that pass twice in that last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you that I wouldn't have started him either. I would have started him. But I also see why Gareth Southgate hasn't started him, again, because Gareth Southgate is literally the most favouritising manager in the world and plays no one based on merit. Otherwise, I was really surprised Jordan Henderson wasn't in this squad, I'll be really honest.
I was shocked Harry Maguire wasn't in the squad.
He couldn't be, he was injured.
Oh yeah, he was. Wasn't he?
But to be fair,
I still think he would have brought him.
Mark Gurley's been good.
Yeah, he has a lot.
I actually think the back four's been pretty good, considering what they've had to deal with in front of them, which is Declan Rice being dreadful.
I don't like Trippier at left back.
Yeah, but I compare Luke Shaw's not fit. Luke Shaw's not fit, and he's on the bench, but he's not fit. Chilwell sucks.
Yeah.
The only other left back that England have that I would have gone like maybe it was worth a punt would have been the Crystal Palace one, Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah, I like Mitchell. I think he's had a really
I think he would have been worth a punt. Just
I
to
think
have
he should
in
have been in the squad at least.
Especially over injured and dilapidated left backs.
You've got Walker, you've got Trippier. They can both play right back. So at least bring him. It gives you an option.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating to sit there and see really good players on the bench. I also thought you need a box threat. Like, why don't you go Tony and Watkins? Gives you height, physicality, and speed. Like, gives you all of them.
Now, again, controversial opinion. I'm starting Ivan Toney.
Nah, I start Ollie Watkins.
Ooh, let's start both. I like Ivan Toney. I think he brings a big goal threat.
I actually think the main problem
like
is our midfield. Like, the midfield needs reshaping. Like, we can't go into another game with Rice and Trent as the holding pivot.
No.
Like, I actually don't think Rice should be playing at all. I'd rather see Wharton and Mainu in midfield because they've both got control and can hold the ball well.
I have a theory about this.
Drop the theory. I'm ready for it. Are you guys ready? I'm so ready.
I don't want to see defenders on the pitch. We have five defensive-minded players on the pitch. We have the back four and Rice, and Trent. 6 defenders on the pitch, 4 attackers against teams we should go out and try and dominate. Chelsea were doing it for ages. We were playing 7 defensive-minded players, a back 5. Fair enough, 2 wing backs, but still a back 5, 2 holding midfielders, and then 3 attacking players. England should go out, especially against Serbia, Denmark, Slovenia. Go out, attack those teams. Take the game to them. Put them on the back foot. Put them under pressure. Back 3, 1 holder. Everyone else go up front. Okay, maybe not everyone else up front. But I just want... You can fit Palmer and Foden and Bellingham and Saka and Tony and Watkins and Kane. Fit them in. Get them up front. Put them on the back. Sling balls in the box. Let's play some aggressive attacking front foot football for a change. I know the fashion is keep the ball. I know the fashion is pass it around, invert your fullbacks. No.
But we're not inverting our fullbacks.
We're not inverting our fullbacks, but it's the fashion.
It's
Invert
a flat
your
back
fullbacks,
four.
play a false nine. Do this.
We have, and Kyle Walker can't get forward. Trippier's not really got forward either because our wingers, because he's playing the wingers wide.
So pedestrian.
Like it just makes no sense. Like we're playing like the last second half. Like okay, that's at the point where you just leave Rice and your other centre back at holding. You push everyone up.
Would you leave Harry Kane out? I'd almost leave Harry Kane out for this last game.
I think it'd be worth it.
I'd go Watkins and Tony.
To say that you can bring Harry Kane off the bench, I don't think it's a bad idea, and I would do that. I think it makes sense to do that. I just think inherently with international football, like we don't hire the right managers for the job, and I know there'll be that argument going, okay, yeah, but Gareth Southgate's got England to way more than any other tournament, but I don't think that's because of him. Like, I don't think his tactical mastery has got us to tournaments. I genuinely believe that we have got through these tournaments due to good players, because we have better players than the other team, and also just vibes. Like, we vibed to a semi-final and a final, playing terrible football and getting through it anyway, but because of the euphoria of winning the game, or, like, scraping through on penalties or scoring that goal, like, that's why it's good. And, like, it's not because we've played really well.
No.
Because I can't actually remember the last time England played a game and thought, wow, we were great.
No.
Even in tournament football, I genuinely can't think of a game where we actually played really well. And you're sitting there now trying to think about it. I can't remember a game. Maybe the Germany game, actually.
Germany 2-0.
The Germany game.
really well.
Probably I was going to say that. The Germany game, probably the only game I can
running through them in my head, and that was the only one
visibly remember. And it's like... But it's not like we can't remember them because all of our performances are good. We're not remembering them because we were pretty...
No, we remember them because they were all bad, and that was the one that just stood out.
Stood out because we won. We played well and won.
So I was very much, back in the day, a style over substance person when it came to football. I would want to see attacking, flair football, strikers everywhere, people slinging balls in the box, nutmegs, touches, turns. I loved all that stuff. And I would almost embrace that even if we lost. Right? I was okay with it. And now I'm starting to go... I was looking at the England team and I was like starting to turn, going, wow, do you know what? If they play bad but they win, I don't mind. Because I just want England to win a tournament so badly. I need that to happen in my lifetime. I genuinely do. I need us to win a tournament. So I would very much on the turn of, do you know what? They can play shit and win, and I don't care. However, when you play shit and don't win, I then have a big problem with it.
I just think for England fans to really feel comfortable with it, we just need to play well and win.
I mean, that's the goal.
Like, as in, you can't get through a whole tournament playing terribly.
No.
And like eventually one game will catch you out and it'll be the most important one, which is the final. Look at England-Italy.
But I think I've got so used to England losing that I'd rather they did it with some flair and style.
But I look at the managers that potentially could be available towards the end of next season, especially, or the season coming up. And I think of the managers that are available now, and I just go, we need a manager who's great at tournament football, genuinely good at tournament football.
Who excites you though? Who would you put in?
Controversial.
Gareth is going to go, right?
I wouldn't put an English manager in. I don't think there's good enough English managers to put in. But I also don't want to go Fabio Capello again because that was bad enough.
Okay, real quick, just before you carry on. Sorry to interrupt. I genuinely think the manager of your national team should be someone from your country. I think that should be a FIFA rule. The players that play for your national team have to be of that nationality, or parents or grandparents. I think the manager should have to conform.
But then you're really limiting other countries who have genuinely...
It's a rogue choice, I get it. I understand it's very rogue. But I do think the manager of a national team should be from that. It should have to adhere to the same rules as the players.
But I also think you limit the countries who are necessarily not as necessarily have the best talent out there.
But you're limiting them with players anyway.
Well, no, because you can have a team of good players but not good coaches. England have been that forever.
Yeah,
with really great players generated, but terrible.
But would it then
inherently look at English coaches? None of them are good.
No, I know. But would it encourage those countries to then focus a little bit more on the coaching side of development?
Well, we do. I've been in the football coaching system. There is in England. There is you can see even in the academies how teams are coached has completely changed to become part of that. upward trend of footballers. We're producing better players, which means the coaching is better. So I do think that we'll start to see some English managers really push on in the next 10 to 15 years of being good managers once they've got out of the academy system. I do think you'll see that because English academies are doing the best.
Good English managers. I genuinely think there is.
Okay, the only English manager right now, at this second, at this moment in time, that actually has any pedigree,
Sean Dyche. Get him in. Dyche in.
is
Sean Dyche.
Eddie Howe.
No.
Technically, the only manager who's actually achieved anything, which was Champions League football, by the way, it wasn't even anything that big, was Eddie Howe.
You've killed my soul with that.
Sam Allardyce
Yes, now we're talking.
is a bloke.
He's a lad.
He's a guy. But he's not a tactically astute manager.
I want Sean Dyche in. I want 4-4-2 and just long balls into the box.
But we don't. We
I
don't.
do.
No, you don't. You say that, and then you'll watch it, and you'll be like, "This is awful."
Yeah. We don't know what we want.
What? No. What we need is a manager who gets football tactically and can win the one-off games. Now, I personally believe a man who's very available and I know is really good in tournament football.
I know who you're going to say.
What's his first name?
No, you go.
Thomas Tuchel.
I know you're going to say that.
Thomas Tuchel, as England manager, would genuinely be the best option available for the squad that we have.
Now, I feel like you're pulling on my heartstrings because I have a real soft spot for Tommy
You can't
Tuchel.
say I'm wrong.
And most of the time it's not soft. Tommy Tuchel, wow. Okay, yeah,
It doesn't have to be Tuchel. There's other good managers out there. Like if Guardiola leaves City at the end of the season, I want Guardiola as England manager. And that's also like he's happy. There is rumours that he'd actually be really happy to do it.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. Yeah,
Really?
Genuinely. There's a chance he might even be in club football once he comes out. I think he might go to international. Bear in mind, he's managed huge teams the last 10, 15 years.
I suppose international football is like a part-time job, isn't it?
It gives you a break once you've been season to season to season.
Mm.
The only other manager that by the way, I don't want this to happen, but the only other sort of system of thinking is they go like the English route of going, oh, okay, let's put one of the Ards or Skulls, not Skulls, but like you know what I mean, like that sort of
They
manager.
won't do that.
Where like, oh, okay, well now Frank Lampard's the England manager, or Steven Gerrard's now the England manager.
Well, who's doing the under-21s? Oh, it's
I don't remember, if I'm being honest. But not someone who should be the England manager. We've been there and done the under-21 with Gareth Southgate.
That would be more likely.
I think they'll go. I think they'll go with the top international manager.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they'll break the trend and just see how it goes. And if after one tournament it's terrible, then they'll bin him.
Even though that goes against my rule of it should be an English guy, I'd be very much into Tuchel doing the England job.
Think about it.
No,
even
I
at
don't
Bayern
like
Munich,
myself for being into it. But
even at Bayern Munich, they had a terrible season, by the way. And I don't think Tuchel got that season right. But what they did get right was they at least got into the finals.
League, yeah.
They got into finals of those top tournaments. Other than they got semi-finals. I think
Well, we
Champions
know
League,
he's
didn't
a
they?
good cup manager.
He won Chelsea a Champions League. You know, if you're talking about Chelsea Champions League. If a few years who might not be watching, you can hear us pointing at our ears.
For all you readers at home, read it a week.
For the readers, yeah, for the audio description, guys. We've made that joke twice now in 2 record cards.
I like it.
We're really funny.
I'm glad I'm allowed to.
I just think if you have that sort of manager available and he's open to do it, you have to take it.
No, yeah, with the current rules the way they are, that's fine. I like I said,
I
think
get
it
having
should
the
be
patriotism
rules
of having
yeah.
it, but if you actually look at all the squads that have won trophies, they've not always had the international managers.
No,
that
but I
have been
think it
there.
would make it a bit more.
As long as I don't see another
more
deadbeat Alan Pardew-esque type manager rock up. Not that he's managing any football clubs anytime soon, but I just...
Reading legend.
Oh God, don't ever call Alan Pardew an associated legend with that man's name. That guy sucks.
I think we have Astro Courts named after him. The Alan Pardew Astro Courts in Reading somewhere.
That is the most depressing court I've ever heard in my life.
I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure he opened some courts.
That's like having a pitch designated
Yeah,
to like
man.
Papi Gilabodji.
The Baba Rahman International Five-a-side pitch.
The Michael Hector Ambition
Or
Arena.
Reading legend as well.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying.
The Josh McEachran era, like, you know, of that one game he played for us.
Yeah.
The Marco Marin estate. No, what a terrible amount of footballers we've signed in the past.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
But yeah, I just think that England debate. I think Southgate has to go off this tournament regardless. I don't care. Even if we win the tournament, he needs to get out. I'm done watching his football. I think the England fans are done with
if he
his
wins
football.
it, I'd give him one more.
No, No. What did we achieve from that? We're just going to risk... Like, we're only going to win the tournament because of individual players. We're not going to win the tournament because of him.
No, but I think if you win something, you deserve the right to do the next
No.
one. I think
Gareth Southgate,
Yeah, you do.
you're not going to watch this, but if you do...
Big Gaz, right? Listen in.
Gaza Southie, all right? Gatey, you know, for sure. If you win lost the tournament, thank you, but fuck off. Genuinely.
I'm on your side.
It's how
buddy.
I feel about Kai Havertz. Cheers for winning us a trophy, but I'm so glad you're not playing for us anymore.
You're rubbish. And he is rubbish as well, Arsenal fans. We know he's rubbish. You'll find out soon enough.
I think, well, I actually think
he's terrible.
He's played quite well for them.
It's only because they're rubbish. They make him look good.
I think if Chelsea had a better team, he would have looked better in our team as well, to be fair.
No, Arsenal terrible. They ain't going to win nothing.
No, they won't, but like in terms of like they're better than us at the moment, let's be real. So
Everyone's better than us at the moment.
Well, the Man United.
Hey!
But I do think that England topic is I think a lot of people want Southgate out. I'm part of that. I think no matter what happens in this tournament, he needs to go.
I want him out, but I think if a manager wins you a tournament, he deserves to be given time to do the next one.
So with that logic,
it's not what I want.
No, hear me out. Just with that logic, in 2008, if Avram Grant won us the Champions League, you'd have wanted him next season.
He would have earned the right to stay next season. Yeah.
Come on, Avram Grant.
I'll say it with a straight face. Whoever wins you a trophy deserves the right. That's why I'm disappointed they sacked Robbie D halfway through the next season. You win a Champions League, you deserve the right.
But Di Matteo is actually playing good football.
I know.
That's why it didn't make any sense to really get rid of him.
You earn the right.
We actually played well under Di Matteo as well, which is why it was a bit... I kind of got it, but I kind of didn't get it.
I think he won the FA Cup as well.
Yeah. That was a good season, really. Even though we finished 6th, wasn't it, that season? We still ended up playing really well. But, yeah, I just think there's... Too much needs to change that England setup for us to be effective and for us to win games, honestly, if we're being...
If we do win the Euros, can we just delete this?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is us putting statements out. Gareth Southgate, you need to go. Regardless if we win or not, thank you.
If we win the Euros, I liked you all along, Gareth.
If we win the Euros, thanks, but fuck off. Thanks for the waistcoat, you prick.
Yeah.
But no, I think he needs to go. And I believe, really, that kind of is what sums up England for us right now.
Okay, so let's find a solution. Pick your England team.
Well, luckily, I came prepared.
I did notice that.
And I've picked my team.
I was trying to smoothly
for the next
transition
game.
into our next phase of...
So for Slovenia, that's who we're playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would start the same goalkeeper and back four. Doesn't make any sense to change it. So Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Gurhey, Trippier.
Right.
I think I'm trying to be a little bit, but I wouldn't start this, but I think that this might be what he goes for. Rice, and I think he'll start Adam Wharton.
Do you think?
I think he might start. He says he's after the. Oh, and sorry, I completely forgot to mention this. After that England game, he said we're struggling to find a replace. Sorry, we're struggling to find a replacement.
Oh,
for Calvin Phillips.
Right, Calvin. No offense, but that's not true.
There's just another reason for Gareth Southgate to leave.
Oh,
Harry,
wow.
no, there's actually, and one more. Sorry, I forgot about this. But you brought me back onto it. One more statement. Harry Kane came out after the game and said, "We had no idea what to do when we were out there, and we had no idea how to press them."
As if we haven't played football that much. I get it, Harry. You've not played that many games of football. I get it, buddy. Why would you know what to do?
No, but that's worrying that he feels a man who's scored that many goals with that many appearances can sit there and turn around to a press guy and go, "Well, we didn't know what we were doing, to be honest. We were imagine not being set up in a way for an international footballer of his level to not know what he's doing. It's mental." Anyway, sorry, back to my team. Fuck you guys. Okay. Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Gurhey, Trippier. Rice and Wharton holding. I don't think he'll drop Rice. I also think that Rice is a genuinely good player, but he needs to have someone behind him to allow him to be better, and I think Wharton is that guy.
So is this the team that you think Gareth will play, or is this the team that you would pick?
It's a 50-50.
It's both.
It's trying to bridge the gap between. Okay. I do think that Wharton could easily be Kobe Mainu, and I would still be fine with it. Mm-hmm. One of the two. Cole Palmer starts. I'm sorry. Cole Palmer has to start the next game for me. He has to start, and I will, Gareth. I'll keep addressing you a lot, but he has to start. Bellingham, because I just don't think you can drop him. He's our best player in the team by a country mile, in my opinion. Foden, I don't think the options. I could see maybe that being Palmer and Saka, maybe, but maybe Saka off the left and cutting in. Maybe.
I think he likes Saka too much. I like Saka. He's a good player.
But I in my opinion, Palmer just has to start, and then I would still start Harry Kane. Just because I think he's too good not to start. But if I wouldn't be really upset if I saw Tony or Watkins start the game, I would be like perfect. I'd be happy with it. But I don't think he'll drop Kane. I think Kane's too integral to what he wants.
I don't think you're far off with what Gareth will do. I think he might make. I think he might make a change. I don't know if he'll make 3.
Yeah.
He might make 1 or 2. If it was me and it was my England and I was the manager, I'd go completely rogue. I'd just change the whole thing. The system.
Well, yeah, but let's be realistic. He's not going to do that.
No, he's not. He's not going to.
So who do you think Gareth Southgate will pick?
I think he'll pick the same team.
You really think he'll do that?
Mm-hmm. I think he'll go. Maybe not Trent. I think he'll pick the same team. Oh. Yeah, I think he'll probably pick the same team.
He is pretty terrible.
He is, yeah. I genuinely think you will. I think if you said I had to put money on it, I think you pick the same team.
That is a terrifying thought for man.
It just popped in my head now. I think you will. I wouldn't if it was my team, but I think he'll pick the same team.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if the same team comes out in that third game because we need a win and we want to win the group and that's his best team. He thinks.
And actually, is the game I had it in my head now.
Tuesday at 8.
Oh. Pod for Tuesday? No.
Well, for 10 o'clock, we'll come in and do it after we've lost.
Live pod. You can tune in from home.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we'll do a watch along.
No,
I'll be fuming.
No, I can't do a watch along. We'd be swearing too much. But no, I think that's right. All right, let's wrap it up. England, Slovenia, scoreline prediction.
1-1.
Well, I actually have to. I'm gonna be the optimistic one then. I'm gonna say 1-0.
That's not that optimistic. 4-0.
No, we've really rotated since the start of the pod where I was saying I was going to be really negative. I have been, but I still think we will win the game just purely because...
Yeah, I still think you're an awful, aren't they? But
I think it'll be 1-0. Either way. It'll be 1-0 either way.
Do you know what I could see, though? I could see us scoring early, again, playing really well for half hour, and then just sitting back and not capitalising. If we don't score 2 within half an hour, 1-0.
Yeah.
We'll let them back in the game. They got a few good players.
Do they? I'm trying to think who Slovenia actually have. Oh, they have Sesko, I think. Yeah, or was he Serbia?
No, Slovenia.
It is Slovenia, isn't it?
I don't know enough about
Slovenia. I can't remember. No, neither do I. Well, here you go. Maybe we should educate ourselves before the next pod on that.
Yeah, we'll learn about topics. We'll learn about the Slovenia team that's going to get a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. And did you have anything else, Scott? With the camera is about to die again. Do you have anything else to talk about?
I had a few things, but we can save them for next time.
We've always got 100 things.
Yeah,
we've got 100 things. We are going to invest in a camera that doesn't die all the time.
I have something about team kits as well that I would like to rant on.
Save that for the next pod.
You know about that, and I'm glad England wore blue shorts. Is all I'll say.
There's a very stupid thought Scott has regarding.
It's not stupid. It's just
right.
It's national pride.
Okay.
England should wear blue shorts.
Well, we wore them in the last game.
I know. I was very happy about that.
Perfect. All right. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for Beaven and Wright episode 2. Thank you so much for joining. Again, just to remind you, if you did like it, please comment, please subscribe, please like the video, share it with your nan, share it with your dad. If you disagree with what we say, which you probably will.
We don't care.
Yeah, but tell us anyway. Start the debate. And then if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask us, maybe we'll answer those in the next pod as well. So thank you ever so much for watching or listening or reading, as you like to say. And thank you very much. Peace.
We appreciate you guys.
We love you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ooh, that was a good one.